and welcome back to this video. In our previous video, we were able to work with arbitrary positional arguments. In this video, we are going to be working with arbitrary keyword arguments. And without any waste of your time, we are going to start demonstrating how to work with arbitrary keyword argument. So again, we are going to define our function, and I'm going to call it arbitrary keyword arguments. So AB for arbitrary, then underscore keyword, and I'm going to open and close our parentheses and close the function header. Now, we already know that if you want to call your function with keyword arguments, you are going to mention the names of the argument, right? And then you are going to pass the value. Now, but this time around, we do not know the amount of keyword arguments that are going to be passed in, right? So we cannot even specify the names at the level of function definition. So what we can do here is to tell Python that, just like we did in our previous video, we are expecting a lot of keyword arguments. So as many keyword arguments that you get, please perform this particular function on them, right? So, and how do we achieve that? So remember again that you can use anything you want. You can use letters, you can use any word, but then if you want to make your keyword argument arbitrary, then you're going to specify it by using the double asterisk. So now I'm going to also call this keyword arguments, right? So that we know the naming convention, right? So if you want to use keyword arguments, you can use this naming convention. If you want to use arguments, you can use that naming convention. Now in this indented block, first of all, I am just going to print the keyword arguments, right? And I'm going to print the type, right? So I'm going to print the type of the keyword arguments. So again, type, and then the keyword arguments that will be passed in. And I'm going to call this function here. So I'm going to call arbitrary keyword, and I'm going to use keyword arguments now. So I'm going to say name is equals perpetual, and then favorite language. So I'm going to say fav underscore language lang, and I'm going to set it to Python, and then I'm going to go for the gender, and I'm going to pass in female, and then height, and I'm going to pass in, well, what I passed in before, right? So now I'm going to save this and run. Well, I'm going to comment this out, and here I'm going to print again. So now we can see that we have a dictionary here, right? And I believe we have seen this before when we were creating Python dictionary. So now this is a practical way that this is used. So we have our keyword arguments and their value, and now this function has been able to decode that we are creating, even though we did not call the dict method on this, right? So by default, it has stored all of the keys and the values into a dictionary, right? So this is how to use a keyword argument. Now, if for instance, here what I want to do is that I want to get the individual values of these variables or these arguments that I passed into the method, and I want to format them, right? If they are strings, so it's just to write a for loop the way I wrote in this other one. So I'm going to say for key value in keyword arguments that we're expecting, what we are going to do is that, so we are going to write the if statement. So if value is a string instance, so we already know the syntax, so we are going to pass in string, right? So what do we want to do? I want to print the capitalized version of that value. So I'm going to say value dot, well, dot upper, right? I'm going to comment out these other print statements so that we can be clear on what we are doing, and then I'm going to run this. Okay, so we are supposed to access the items here, right? So we are going to pass in dot item so that we can access all of the items in the keyword argument. So now I'm going to clear, and then I'll run this again. So this time around we have our strings neatly formatted for us, right? So, and that is how it is. So we can also write an elif statement and say elif is instance of float. So we can say value now, and then we pass in the float data type. So what do we want to do here? So we want to use the math module and convert it to maybe the floor integer value. So we are going to say that convert is now going to be math.floor, and we pass in the value, right? And then we are going to print convert. And then I will save this and run. So as you can see, the floor value of 5.6 has been printed, and then the strings has been neatly formatted. So this is how you can use the arbitrary keyword arguments in your Python code. So in our next video, we are going to be looking at how to use the return statement in Python functions. So thank you so much for watching this video, and see you in the next one.